Today we're delighted to be joined live in studio by a very good friend of ours, and we are so lucky to call him one of our own now, adopted as they may be, Dublin man, but he's lives here in the state of Michigan now, a singer-songwriter originally from Dublin, as I said, Enda Reilly.
How are you doing?
Good. Enda, how about yourself?
Great to be here. I'm doing pretty good. Thanks very much.
Good. And how are you holding up through all this pandemic and craziness?
Yeah, I'm keeping going with my live stream every Saturday, which keeps me kind of in contact with friends in Ireland and over here as well. And it's just good to have something in the diary every Saturday that happens. And then even if you're not feeling up to it, it's like you do it, and then afterwards you're like, that's great. My mother got on, or my sister, or my aunt, or friends in Dublin, or or friends in Belgium, and friends around the world. Because there's a lot of friends who I would have had in Dublin in from 2000 to 2015 odd or whatever, where we were all living in Dublin, and people end up inevitably going around the world, and so it's so that's been good. But it's kind of. You were hoping it was only going to last for 3-4 months.
It was 15 weeks, or what'd you say? 15 days.
Yeah,
was the first quarantine.
But they said that everywhere. Right. They said that in Ireland as well. So that was the anticipation, was that it wouldn't take that long.
Was that the first idea? Yeah.
Whitmer said 15 days.
Yeah.
Wow. We're only going to be shut down for 15 days.
But they didn't know, and at the time they said the same thing in Ireland, because they were commenting on that today on Facebook too.
Right.
They opened up Kildare back up.
Kildare's just my friend Anya was delighted that she can get out there again.
Yeah. So we'll learn more about Enda and his story and his music. We'll hear some songs, and Enda is a fluent speaker of the Gaelic language, Irish Gaelic, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So maybe we'll get a few words out of Enda that some of you may understand, most of us won't, but our friends in Ireland will. So Enda, you're from Dublin originally, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when did you come to the States? When did you originally come permanently as permanent as it will be, right?
Yeah. Well, for a few years anyway, we plan to get back to Ireland maybe 5 years or something like that. Well, I had planned to get home for Christmas last year, and I'm waiting for the green card, put that back, and then this year I'm planning on it. But you can't plan on anything really that far in advance at the moment. So, So we've been here over a year now, about a year and 5 months or so. Yeah. So it's been
getting on okay. Do you like it here in the States? You like it in Michigan?
Well, it's great. Like, it was my father-in-law's birthday today, actually, Bob. He's 83. So we were out in Battle Creek this morning, and we came back on the I-94, where all the crazy drivers are. The guy in an Amazon truck nearly ran us off the road. It's crazy driving. But anyway, you get used to all these things, because in Ireland, like, you've got the M50 around Dublin and a few motorways that go down west, or out spokes from Dublin. But here it's just it's kind of like around London or something. It's just massive roads, and you really have to know what you're doing, and but like you get used to these things, I guess. And but that's what's great about it, is in one sense it's great to be here and spend, because Anne-Marie was in Ireland for 20 years and she's from Battle Creek, so she missed home and we missed time with people. But today is also my mother's birthday back in Ireland, so I've missed 2 birthdays of hers now.
Did you ring your mom? Did you ring your mother?
Yep, we were chatting with her earlier there, and they actually got to go up to Thomas Davis, which is our GAA club in Tala, and they were able to have some food up in the local club, as they call it. So
good for them.
So they had a nice time yesterday.
Happy
But
birthday
it's
to your
tough
mom.
to miss that, But sure, Shinna will. That's the way it goes. And looking forward to. I got to meet some of the people from some of the festivals. Got to go to the Muskegon to the Michigan Festival, and saw you inducted into the Hall of Fame last year. But I was hoping to get to a few more this year, obviously, because everyone was. But
sure.
I'm delighted we went and saw that. And I went to Pittsburgh as well, where they had the big meeting of all the different festival organisers. So that was great to meet some of those folks there. And I've done some live gigs I did a live gig for the Pittsburgh Irish Facebook page. So that's been an interesting foray. I guess we can maybe chat about that in a while. But
absolutely. Yeah, that's great stuff. And you brought your guitar with you here.
Yeah.
So, what kind of song are you going to do for us here?
So we were talking. You mentioned about the Gaeilge there earlier. So I would have went to an all Irish primary and secondary school. So all my education up to 18 years old was through the Irish language. So I did science and chemistry and even learned German through the medium of Irish. Like so, then I lost a bit of it. But then I made an album, and over a couple of years, I'd been writing songs as Gaeilge, and I thought there's not many people writing brand new songs in the Irish language. So I thought, well, why not put them on a Bollucan, on an album together and put it out. So this is one of the main songs on that's done well. I had a video made professionally for this one. This is called Curran Lung Ag Shoal. So it's called Set the Ship a Sail, and the idea is you're on the River Shannon on the boats, which is a great thing to do if anyone ever has time, or do a week-long little cruise of the Shannon River. We've done it a few times with friends, and it's a great thing to do. But on my mind, I was like, I'm back there, I'm going down the Shannon, and then it's like, you just keep going. You're out in the Atlantic, and why not go on an adventure? And I guess that's what this song is kind of about. So beginnings, I guess. Knock jassi the creature is sweetje, knock glorver the viola le kyo. Is aringa gorgu goira, nurakorum on long egg show. Curran long egg show, curran long egg show, show. A mock is a mock, oh, darlona, all in the top, nyart, lenite, nyart, the non, she curramin a long way, show. Knock jassi on chunin for fun in. Is fjarlum eish gnafjo. Is aringa gruimless doing. Nurakarum on long egg show. Curran long egg show. Curran long egg show. Show. A mock is a mock. Oh, darlona, all in the top, nyart, then it nyart, the no, she got a man a long way, show. The dog may mushantok, dun Atlantic. Steve I Merash good yo is Arimo Hail Gusayo Nurakarum on long egg show. Curran long egg show. Curran long egg show. Show. A mock is a mock. Oh, Dardona. Even in top, nyart, then the no, she got a man a long way, show. Egg show.
That's absolutely fabulous. I didn't understand a word of it because I should learn Gaelic at some point, but they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, and I'm pretty old, so
it's a tricky one. It's a tricky language. It's got lots of different conjunti. There's lots of different blends of it from all around the country. There's a general one they call an Kaijan, which is like the standard, but in a sense, the standard isn't actually spoken like that. It's if you learn the standard, that would be a good way to go, because then you could be understood wherever you went. But if you wanted to get something properly fluent, you'd be better off trying to, I'm going to learn the Kerry way, or I'm going to learn the Donegal way, or I'm going to learn the Galway way. I think people seem to have a better they get a better grasp of it when they come to it like that. I come from Dublin, where the Gaeilge in Dublin, I had teachers from all around the country. So my Irish is a bit different. Again, it's kind of a blend of all of the Irish. So I didn't have a teacher from Donegal until I was about 9 or 10 years old, and then we had the same teacher for 2 years, and I think for the first year most of us were looking at each other going, what is this lady saying to us? Because Donegal Irish is quite different. You have to catch some of the little things. So it's a beautiful language, obviously. I love it.
Is it easy to translate when you're writing a song in Gaelic versus writing the same song in English?
Right.
Is it easily translatable, or do you have a difficult time finding certain words to get the same meaning across?
Well, it doesn't feel the same. So sometimes I all of the songs on this, I kind of had translations on my website. I kind of felt like the website was like extended sleeve notes. So if you go to albums on endareilly.com, in the drop-down menus, you see the translation that I would have written myself for it. But there's something definitely lost, even though I'm the songwriter and I'm writing an English version of it, because I just don't know. It just doesn't feel the same way, the feeling. But then again, that's just a feeling I'm putting on it myself. So again, it's a tough one. But to take one case in point, there's a song called "Ego Ego" like on Garavogue, which I wrote with Pierce McLaughlin, friend of mine and great songwriter, and he did a translation and I did a translation, and it was interesting. I kind of did a literal translation and he kind of went with more sounds that worked. I think his translation is a lot better. So he calls it the lore of the Garavogue, whereas the direct translation is like drinking at the Garavogue, so it's kind of, but he definitely, his translation has a better feel to it than my one did. So translations are interesting. There's a good friend of mine, Gabriel Rosenstock, who's written like hundreds of books. Like he's into his 200s of books. He translates from lots of different languages, and he does haiku into the Irish language. So he'll kind of translate from Korean and from Indian, all the different Indian languages, and into Gaelic. But he calls it trascruhu, which is transcreation, because he's kind of gets that. Well, there's a new creation going on. You can't really just translate something.
Grace from Black Murray's listening in Ann Arbor. Carl Henry checked in from Plymouth. Sean Kavanaugh checked in. Enda Reilly sounding fantastic from Sean.
Thanks, Sean.
Alan McMillan from Black Murray. Enda Reilly never disappoints. Jesus, we're going to have to get a bigger door here out the studio when he leaves.
And Black Murray were doing live stream there yesterday, I think. I spotted a little
They
bit.
were, yeah. They did a nice job on that, indeed, yeah. Gerard Smith from Bill Grogan's Goat checked in from the day job. The legend himself, Mitch Reilly, from you know him from the Andy Cooney band, playing his Christmas shows in the Andy Cooney Cruise of Irish Stars. A fabulous whistle, flute, and saxophone player. The guy's played in just about 40 countries around the world. Wow. He's fabulous. He played with Brenda Lee. He's played with Kelly Clarkson. He's played Engelbert Humperdinck. He's played with a lot of the legends. Joni Kavanaugh checked in from Camp Kavanaugh in Farmington Frills, of course, with Sean. So Mitch Riley's listening down in Franklin, Tennessee. Hopefully you're drying out, Mitch, because I know you guys were having some storms and rain coming through there from Hurricane Laura. A big shout out to Karen. Down in Louisiana, one of our great listeners. She survived Hurricane Laura, thank God. Yes. Keith Wood has checked in from Chester, New Jersey. Keith's a great man and great supporter of our program. And Bobby Brooks said a cold bells would be brilliant. Yes, it would. If you happen to get one, Bobby, bring one here. And if you ever get to Detroit, Bobby, you know where we're going. We're going straight to the top shelf, so to the Crested 10. So if you ever get to Detroit, yourself and Johnny, get over to my place and we'll hit that Crested 10 bottle and we'll do our best to destroy it. Speaking of Johnny Costello, he's listening in to host a Feast of Irish Music on Sundays on WROL Radio. Folks, get connected with that great radio program. WROL in Boston plays 15 hours of Irish music every weekend between Saturday and Sunday. And the Feast of Irish Music is from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. when Johnny hosted. Great program, great friend of our show. And I've got a couple songs going out to our friends in Boston here before too long. And Johnny, I'll get you our special guest, Enda Reilly. I'll make sure that you get a copy of the CD to you. I know you definitely support Detroit music as well. We've heard a lot of Detroit artists being played on WROL, and I know Johnny would love to have some of Enda's music, so we'll get that over to you.
Could definitely send him some.
Indeed. So speaking of Enda's got his headphones on and his guitar again, so I'm going to shut up and let him do his thing.
Yes, so what I'm going to do is sing a song that myself and Aoife Scott wrote together. This was the first song we wrote together. Aoife came to me looking for some songs for her debut album a number of years ago now. She had sung one of my songs called Donal Ná Fog, and she had gone to Italy to do a minority languages competition with that one. And then she was like, do you know what? I want to write my own songs. That's what Aoife was thinking. She wanted to write it. And she knew I was into co-writing as well. And so she said, would you be interested in writing some songs? So we sat down, and this was the first one. We went for a walk down to where she loves to go, which is called the Shelley Banks. It's the South Bull Wall. It's the extension of the Liffey River in Dublin. And there's a North Bull Wall and a South Bull Wall. Both have great walks and a lot of wildlife and... But when you get to the end of the wall and you look back at Dublin, you can see all the way down to Wicklow to Braehead, and you can see all the way north to there's a tombolo that comes out, which is called Howth, which if you've been to Dublin you can take the Dart train up to Howth. But it pretty much, you're right in the middle of the bay, and it's just an amazing feeling to be out for a walk down the Shelley Banks. So here's that one.
Crane lifted stones from the water, built these walls long ago. I went walking, dropped a penny in the south wall to keep us safe from the storm. The sea's green with envy of the cow in the harbor as she crashes on the shore, where I give thanks down by the Shelley Banks. I scream my cares to the bay. I need those lighthouse lamps down by the Shelley Banks. Green and red they guide my way. Take me where those herons swoop over, come down to greet me, won't let me trip and fall. I own the coastline from Howth up to Braehead as the lovely Liffey flows. The sea's green with envy of the cow in the harbor as she crashes on the shore, where I give thanks down by the Shelley Banks. Scream my cares to the bay. I need those lighthouse lamps down by the Shelley Banks. Green and red they guide my troubles drag me down, and I don't know why. I just bring my bag of worries and throw them to the tide. The sea is green with envy of the camp in the harbor as she crashes on the shore, where I give thanks down by the Shelley Banks. I scream my cares to the bay. I need those lighthouse lamps down by the Shelley Banks. Green and red they guide my day.
Wow. What a great job. So, a question for you: when you write a song, when Aoife Scott comes to you and says she'd like to write her own music, when you write the songs with Aoife, because I know you've done a number of songs with her, do you write just the lyrics, or are you also writing the music to go with it, or is it just the vocals?
When we've done it, we've sat down with concepts that mainly come from Aoife. She's like, I'd like a song that would be like that, about this place, you know, and so that one was one of the easiest ones we wrote, even though it took a bit of work, like to get it done. But so what we did there was literally went for a walk down by the Shelley Banks, and we saw the old crane lifter. There's a rusting crane there that must have been to do with offloading cargo right at the end of the wall. And then we were just imagining what it was like when they were being built. And then the idea of throwing a penny in the wall was kind of like, yeah, if you were building it, we were just kind of making up that it was like a ritual. You'd throw something in the wall like for good luck or something. Sure. And then we saw the herons flying in, so we were just kind of adding, because the heron, there's even where I lived for 5 years in Leixlip, which is in Kildare, but it's still the Liffey, you'd always see the heron out as well. So adding in these little things was important, and then the idea that the sea is raging outside the wall, but inside it's a different color, and it's more calm, and there's these kind of things going on that we just wanted to add into the song. So that one, I guess in general, chord-wise and melodies probably were coming from me initially, but then it would get sculpted together. Like the Wild Atlantic Way was a melody that I wrote that I think we spent the whole day writing another song, and then all of a sudden I said, well, I got this melody this morning as well, and then that became the Wild Atlantic Way pretty quick.
And that was a huge hit for her. And so let's talk about Wild Atlantic Way.
Yeah.
When obviously, when you hear Aoife sing it, and you might have a little different translation, the way that you envision it in your mind, but then when you hear another Irish artist, was it Carrie Farron or
there was
Cleona Hagan?
Cleona Hagan has done it, and
yes.
El Marie O'Dwyer does a girl. I don't know if I'll send you a link to that if you haven't heard her version.
We played the Cleona Hagan version of it in the past, but when you hear a third person now that wasn't involved there, how does that make you feel, number one, and do you ever listen to those and think, wow, that sounds great, it's brilliant, the different interpretations of it?
Yeah, it's as an artist yourself, you've got your own way of doing it, and even with that one there, I go, Aoife does a melody slightly different to me. So writing the script, as it were, of the song is the songwriter's job, but then the artist needs to take ownership and go. So like part of what was happening was I would be on the guitar writing the song and chords and stuff, and so what Aoife had to kind of do for her album was find her own sound and go off with Andy and her brother Owen as well, who's a guitarist, and reinterpret it for them, for her. So she re-sculpted even though the chords had kind of been there, but she didn't want it to feel too like me, because I have my own sound as well. So it was a kind of process for her. I think she had to go through with the songs to find. And for me, then hearing sometimes chords slightly different, it was like, ooh, that's different. But you go do your thing.
Right.
And so then hearing Cleona doing it with the kind of that backbeat of the it's got that country Irish backbeat for dance, because that's what that music is all about. It's the dancing. I have a cousin Donald and Louise. They're big dancers and they loved all that. For me, I wouldn't listen to that music too much, but it's for, there's a whole scene out there, and it's people love it. So I'm delighted to have a song that potentially could get it into that little world there, and so yeah. It's great. As a songwriter, you're kind of, that's what you want, because I've written so many songs for me, like about the environment or about in the Irish language, and a lot of those songs I wrote them. They're from my perspective. I'm probably the only person who's ever going to sing them. So to write a song that other people feel is works for them, for their audiences, is the goal of any songwriter. So it's great. It's a great feeling, and you're kind of like, yes, we did the job right there.
I saw an interview with the Saw Doctors one time, and the question was to the Saw Doctors, when have you felt, or when do you feel that you've made it as an artist, right? When does that feeling come in that you've actually made it? And I can't remember if it was Leo or Davey says that 50 years down the road, when we're done playing and we're not playing, and we walk into a pub and we hear on the jukebox a CD of somebody doing one of our songs.
Right.
Or we hear on the radio somebody recording one of our songs, then we'll know that we had an impact on the music, and that would be the best feeling, and that was the way they looked at it.
Right, yeah. So. That's a long-term way of that. That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
Speaking of great music, Ashley Davis Band. I don't know if you're familiar with Ashley Davis.
I met her up in Muskegon as well.
Yeah.
We did. I was lucky enough to get on stage and sing "Wild Atlantic Way" with Aoife. She had a Songwriters in the Round, which was on over the weekend, so that was brilliant. Yes, and she has Shane. She's Shane Hennessy with her here, is it?
She does, yeah. On this particular track, and what a guitarist Shane Hennessy is.
He's awesome.
He was out at the Michigan Irish Music Festival also.
Yeah, he's a Gaeilgeoir as well. He speaks Irish. He's from Carlow.
Is he?
Yeah, I've seen him over the years at especially at Irish language events all over Ireland. Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah, tremendous guitar player. And you're a man of many talents, and now you've got a Boron with you.
I'm a blackguard.
I've never seen you with a Boron before.
I had not got a Boron. So I had a year of being patient regarding playing music and just being at home waiting for my green card to come in, and I decided I would get a Boron, and because friends of mine have played in Ireland, and I decided I'd give it a go and try and get a little bit better at rhythm. Because melody is what kind of comes to me, especially when I'm writing a lot. But rhythms are just something I thought, well, let's see if we can learn the Boron. I have a bit of tinnitus from playing in bands years ago and things like that, or tinnitus. I don't know how you say it. Tinnitus, yeah. So. Yeah, everything is pronounced different everywhere, isn't it? It's crazy.
My mom for years called it certificates instead of certificates. Certificates. And I look at her, what are you doing?
That's an Irish thing.
What are you playing, Mom?
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Oh, it's crazy stuff. She was here. I don't know, this for decades, and she was still.
And that's
never lost.
We're actually not even off topic, because that's what rhythm's all about, isn't it? It's about how you emphasize the emphasis you put on the syllable. You know what I mean? So it's anyway. I've been Ronan O'Snuddig of Keela is just the master at the Boron, as far as I'm concerned. And there's so many different styles, but I didn't realize. I was doing a bit of research into it and finding people on YouTube. YouTube's great for trying to learn things, and there's different people showing different styles and stuff. But they're pretty much since the '60s. The Boron was really very simple before that, and all these amazing players have just developed it. So it's really in development all the way up. So I decided I wanted to play the Boron some way, just with my hand initially anyway, because that's the best way to start. So I'm going to sing a song and be a bit of a blackguard here. This is one from Christy Moore's album, Whatever Tickles Your Fancy. I don't know if you remember that one. He's standing in front of a dartboard. It's a great album. In Scartaglen there lived a lass, and every Sunday after Mass she would go and take a glass before going home to Barna. We won't come along the road, for fear that you might take the road. Won't come along the road, and we'll go home to Barna. Won't go home across the field, the big turnings are sticking your heels. We won't go home across the fields, no, we'll go home be burning. We won't come around the glen, for fear your blood might boil again. Oh, won't come around the glen, no, we'll go home be burning. Won't go down the mill barn, the night is bright, we might be seen. We won't go down the mill barn, no, we'll go home be burning. We won't come across the bog, for fear we might be Carney's dog. Won't come along the bog, no, we'll go home be burning.
And you say you never played the program before until recently.
Well, I was blagging my way through it for the Nashville Celts. I jumped up, did a few songs with them last year, and I was really blagging it, lads. I really was. I had a bower on and singing a few songs, and I was there because I had an Irish accent. I think that's what got me the job. And then but that's that I started getting into it then, and then I started making all my own sticks by getting skewers from the store, and then but I realised I just prefer using the hand because you got all these different sticks. They've got different. So I was doing all my little experiments about which sounds I liked and all, but I went back to the hand first. So.
What a talented man. Enda Reilly, ladies and gentlemen, live in studio with us. Thanks, Enda. And I know you have more music for us before the end of our show. That'd be great. We'd love that. Folks, if you're planning on getting away next year, I know this year's pretty much shot for holidays and vacations, and you want to take that dream trip to Ireland, make sure you contact our friends, and a very good friend of Enda Reilly as well, Mark Harlow from Bridget Gallagher's Irish Tours and Treasures. They're located in downtown Howell, Michigan, 201 South Michigan Avenue. I was just out there last week. I stopped out last Wednesday or Thursday for a cup of tea. And we were talking about Ireland and did a few things with Mark. Located in downtown Howell. It's a gift shop, but they also do tours of Ireland. And you want to reach out to them and talk to them about taking their Emerald Isle Dream Holiday Tour next year to Ireland. Make sure you get connected with them. You can visit their website at bridgetgallaghers.com and also email them. Their phone number is 517-223-7255. 517-223-7255. I've been on their tours and as close friends with them. You've gotten to know them over the last year.
Yeah. We did a gig.
Fabulous people.
Sang a few songs for their reopening there just before the COVID thing came in. Do you remember as well? Two of us were there that day. It was a lovely day.
It was indeed, yeah. And great little shop.
Lovely. Yes. Yeah. We picked up a few presents there recently as well. Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, Enda has his guitar back again and pick in hand, so I'm going to let Enda play some more music for you. What are you going to do for us?
I was just chatting with Kevin there. I said, is there anything you want to hear? And he said he likes my version of Caledonia. So I think, we all love Caledonia, even though it's a Scottish song. We rob the best. We only rob the best, isn't that it?
Absolutely. Hey, and before you do this,
yes.
is it okay if we do a Facebook Live of this?
That's fine.
Would you be okay with that? All right, folks. So if you're friends with me on Facebook, check in. We're going to go Facebook Live here with Enda Reilly doing Caledonia. So
no pressure.
No pressure at all. No, not at all. I'll come around there. So we feel like we're in a hockey rink here, right? So going to throw things over the glass at each other here. But anyway, so I'll come around there. I'll get it from that other angle there.
Right,
so if you're friends with me on Facebook, check it out. We're going live here from the Cave Radio Studios on the Irish Music Cafe with Enda Reilly in Caledonia.
Well, I don't know if you can see the changes that have come over me these past few days. I've been afraid I might drift away. Well, I've been telling old stories, singing songs that make me think about where I come from, and that's the reason why I seem so far away today. So let me tell you that I love you and that I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me, and now I'm going home. And if I shall become a stranger, you know it wouldn't make me more than sad. 'Cause Caledonia has been everything I've ever had. Well, I have moved and I've kept on moving, prove the point that I needed proving. Lost the friends I needed losing, found others on the way. I kissed the girls, left them sighing, stolen dreams yes, there's no denying. Traveled hard with coattails flying somewhere with the wind. So let me tell you that I love you and that I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me, and now I'm going home. If I shall become a stranger, you know it wouldn't make me more than sad. 'Cause Caledonia's been everything I've ever had. Well, now I'm sitting here before the fire, the empty room, the forest quiet, and the flames have dimmed, they won't get any higher. They've withered now, they've gone. But I'm steady thinking, and my way is clear. I know what I will do tomorrow when the hands have shaken and the kisses flow. Then I will disappear. Sing it with me wherever you are. So let me tell you that I love you and that I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me, and now I'm going home. And if I shall become a stranger, you know it would make me more than sad. Caledonia's been everything I've ever had. Man, Dougie McLean, who wrote that one. But all the Irish love it, should we all love it? And Dolores Kane would have been the version that I heard growing up, and, you know, sure, everyone loves it.
Great stuff. Enda Reilly. Joe from Chicago said, thanks for doing this live. Eddie Kane. Do you know Eddie Kane? He's from Kildare. Enda is deadly. How are you,
Thanks.
Pat? Hey, Father Tomek Maka, my favorite priest of all time at St. Pat's, Father Tomek, has checked in. Father, nice to have you on board. He's a Polish-born priest. He was our associate pastor at St. Pat's for a year. Kind of priest that when he read the homily, when he did the homily, you thought he was talking directly to you every single time. Like, how did he know that that's going on in my life right now? This guy was fantastic. He's a lieutenant in the United States Navy now. He's a U.S. Navy chaplain stationed over in Spain. So, Father Tomek, thanks so much for joining us. Kenny checked in. Lots of people checking in here. Mike Christmas says, well done. And Richie O'Brien says, good man. Zach Moran from the Druids said, class stuff, Enda. You remember the Druids? You sang with them. Mitch Reilly was watching. Mark Hurley was watching. So we're going to close the Facebook Live here thing for you here and continue on with our music here in just a moment. Enda, what a fabulous... No wonder why Murphy wanted to hear that song. Great version of that. I saw Murphy singing in the background there, too. So
Great.
Good. He's good with the harmonies, you know.
Indeed.
Yeah, he's a talented guy himself. He won't. Here's the thing about Murphy. He'll come in, and he never wants to talk on the air. He never wants to come and join us at the mic. He's more than welcome to. I'd love to have him come up here and join the conversation. I'd love for him to bring his guitar in one day and sing a few songs, and I can never get him to do it. So he's...
Different artists have different ways. He loves the mystery. He's keeping that mystery out there.
I guess, but someday I want you to bring your guitar in and sing a few songs, please. We'd love it, because part of the jam rock, part of the Irish scene here in Michigan for so many years, and the folks that don't realize the amount of things that Kevin Murphy does for people in this area. We know Mike Kelly is very generous and Brian Dunleavy, Murphy's every bit as generous with his time and his restaurant with Murphy's Restaurant. He does so much for the Irish community with the Fooies, et cetera. So he's a great man to have on our side. So we're glad to have him in studio today as well. All right, folks, let's get back to the music here before we got a couple more that we want to do, and then we'll come back and Endo maybe do another song for us. Beautiful.
Definitely.
Good. Perfect. We'd love to hear one. Time for one more song from Enda.
Great. Yeah, this is one from my first album. This one's called Yesterday How I Cried. It's one of them singer-songwriter ones about a breakup of a relationship kind of thing. So, yeah, if you're interested in my music, you might go on the Spotify, as they call it, and give it a listen. I have a load of things on Spotify, or I have it on Bandcamp as well. But it'd be nice to get a few more listeners over to Spotify. That seems to be where the game is played as well.
And tell them about your broadcast on Facebook every weekend. Every Saturday.
So on both YouTube and Facebook at 12 o'clock noon Eastern Time, I go live every Saturday. And we have a great group of people who keep coming back, and it's been some of my family get on from Ireland, and we've people from all around the US as well. So that's 5 p.m. Irish time, or 12 o'clock on Saturdays. And I've kind of started these little jingles now that have for different little sections, and I have an intro to the gig as well, and all this type of thing. So it's a bit of fun, bit of crack.
Great stuff. I want to say before you play, Peter Clark in Staten Island is listening. Lorraine Ryan is listening in Norton, Massachusetts. Kathy is listening in Fleetwood, England. Paul and Becky Sigmund in Livonia. Mike Chisholm in the Farmington Meadows. And Bob and Judy Fowler are listening in Westland.
Great.
All right, here we go. More music for you here live on the Irish Music Cafe from Enda Reilly.
Broke up with me a week ago, and I woke up with her in bed this morning. And she broke up with me a week ago, and I woke up with her in bed this morning. And yesterday how I cried, but today crying even more. Well, it's sad that good things seldom last. It's a lifelong play with a changing cast. It's sad that good things seldom last. It's a lifelong play with a changing cast. And yesterday how I cried, but today I'm crying even more. Well, it's all messed up now. To give it up now. I do think I'm using you, but I thought that you were using me too. And yesterday how I cried, but today
the very talented Enda Reilly. And I can't thank you enough for coming in.
You're so welcome.
Absolutely fabulous. You know, the door is always open. You're welcome at any time.
Thanks for the platform. No, it's great to get in.
That's great. And we enjoy your sessions on Saturdays as well. So sometimes we're listening on the earbuds while we're outside mowing the lawn or whatever we're doing and doing the chores, you know, so we can't always check in. That was your, see, yeah.
Yeah.
It-
So I might just add, if you're ever looking for any of my stuff, endareilly.com, ENDAREILLY.com is the hub. You can find everything from there. So.
Good stuff. You can find it on Spotify as well and on YouTube too. Yep.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
Reilly. Great stuff, Enda. Thanks a million. We appreciate it.